Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a lot of delay from my side because we had a lot of admissions who had come here, and Prag sir and MB Patil sir are on leave today. Okay, so it is one-man show. That's the reason I could not take your class on time. Yeah. Before I start with the class as such, I would like to ask you: have you all filled in that particular Google form that was sent to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the meantime, Rashmi and Ashwini, can you please ask people to join quickly? Fine. Rashmi, are you there? Ashwini?
Yes, sir. I'll I'll post a message in group.
Yeah, yeah, please, please. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, repeat. Have you all filled in the Google form that was sent to you? Are you able to hear me out? So we are 14 of us.
Yes, sir.
We'll start. Okay, quickly, I want to brush up something which is very important, and then we'll have to switch to problems quickly because we have lost a couple of days in between. I think in my stopped in my last class at this particular slide. Yeah, I think I've stopped at this particular slide. Clear? Just a minute. Something else. Okay. So we'll proceed from where we had stopped. In fact, in my last class, I discussed about one important concept called as how are interest rates been determined. Okay, so this is
Sir, sorry to,
yeah.
sir. Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Sir, when do we have to submit the investment assignment? Excel.
If you're ready, you submit it now.
Yeah, okay, sir. So only till that histogram, you had asked us to find the mean, median, mode. Only till then, no, sir.
No, I had asked you to analyze also. Not only that, you have to
Ha,
analyze the
yeah,
data, right?
that's what. Yeah, sir. We have analyzed it.
Okay, so
Okay, sir. We'll
I will
see.
put the format. Okay, I will put the format in the
Okay.
PPT itself right now after this class. Accordingly, you can
Okay.
just copy paste the
Sir,
data in that particular format and submit it.
sir, among the group, anyone have to send, no, or all the participants have to
It's a
send,
group
sir?
assignment, Ashwini. It's a group assignment. So
Y-
all
Yes.
together, I will receive 9 mails.
Oh,
You will
okay,
receive
okay,
only
sir.
9 mails. Okay, and in
Okay,
those
sir.
mails, each one of you, if you want to
Huh.
correlate everything and do it, that's also fine, no problem. Anyway, I'll put up
Okay.
the format immediately after this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Swapnil.
Sir, you have stopped, like you while doing the histogram, you have stopped and you are doing something like max return of this. That's where you stopped. The histogram also we have to do.
Histogram actually is it required? Just give me some time. I'll tell you whether histogram is required because if one factor is same, right? Index is going to remain the same. So what do you say? One histogram for the index will be common for each and every one of you, right? The other histograms are about your regarding your individual shares, right? So that I'll tell you immediately whether we require. I'll just check some data. I'll just randomly pick up some 3 or 4 shares from each and every segment, and then accordingly I'll tell you whether it is required or not. If the graph is coming same, then it is not required. If the graphs are going to be different, then it is a matter of concern, right? So I'll just check that and let you know.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, the last thing is the analysis, no, sir, of 12 companies. Mean, median, standard deviation, that is only the last thing, no, sir?
Yes. Ultimately you have to check
Yes, sir.
which
That
share
much
is
we have
good
done,
and
sir.
which share is not good. That is that is important. See, if Rohin, if you are a consultant,
Okay, sir.
I
Like
come
a fundamental analysis, sir.
yeah, if I come and tell you, Rohin, which share is good, okay, in this particular segment, you should tell me which share is
Yes,
good.
sir.
My next question would be why? Why this? You should be able to answer it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, okay, sir.
Fine. So we'll start from where we had stopped. Okay, this is I think I remember I have explained to you. I took the example of an educational loan that you have taken, and I have shown you how what do you mean by inflation growth? What do you mean by real growth? This is what we have already discussed. Okay, so I'll not repeat it again because it will be a boring session to discuss things which have already been understood. By the way, this is a very important question. It is generally asked for around 7 marks. Okay, what are the factors that determine interest rates? Okay, so each and all these factors that are mentioned here, okay, these are the factors that affect, or these are the variables that affect the rate of interest. Okay, so you need to know this particular diagram itself, and you should be able to explain in short run how inflation, time, real growth affect interest rate. Likewise, in case of default premium, special feature, then maturity premium. So all these things are going to affect rate of interest. So this is what you have to explain. Okay. Now, something more important that I'm going to discuss with you today is a concept called as duration. Okay. I'm going to discuss a very important concept called as duration. Now, if you understand duration, if you look at the theory and if you look at the formula, it is totally confusing. Okay. And there was one person by the name Macaulay who invented this particular concept called as duration. Okay, and that's the reason it is also called as Macaulay duration. Now, what does it say? What is duration? Duration basically is nothing but time. Duration is nothing but time. Okay. Now, what does it say? It says, suppose I have Swapnil here, and Swapnil has invested, let us say, 50,000 rupees. Swapnil has invested 50,000 rupees in a bond with a face value, okay, with a face value of 1,000 rupees. That means how many number of bonds does Swapnil have? I repeat, we are discussing a concept called as duration. Duration is nothing but time. Duration is nothing but it is time. Okay, now I'm explaining to you how duration is important factor and what are the things that we have to understand in duration. And before I go to the theory part of it, I just want to explain you in the form of an example. Let us suppose Swapnil has invested 50,000 rupees in a bond, and the face value of one bond is 1,000 rupees. In all, how many bonds does Swapnil have is my question. How many bonds does Swapnil have altogether? Swapnil has around 50 bonds, right? Swapnil has invested in 50 bonds worth 1,000 rupees. So that is his total investment is going to be 50,000 rupees. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next, the other things are the maturity time for this bond to get matured is 5 years. So after 5 years, he will receive his 50,000 rupees. Okay. Rate of interest, or I will call it as coupon rate. Coupon rate, let me say it is 10%. Coupon rate is 10%, right? So every year for next 5 years, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For next 5 years, okay, how much is Swapnil going to receive? 10% of 50,000 is how much? 10% of 50,000 is how much? So every year, Swapnil is going to receive 5,000, right? So here also he will receive 5,000 plus he will receive his maturity value, that is 50,000. Getting it? Please tell me if you are able to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Swapnil has invested 50,000 for 5 years at a coupon rate of 10%. So every year Swapnil is going to receive 5,000 rupees from this particular investment avenue. And at the end of 5th year, he will receive 5,000, which is the interest for the 5th year, and plus he will receive 50,000 rupees, which is nothing but the principal amount, right? So this is what we commonly know. Now, I'm just adding one concept to this, okay? And what is that one concept? I'm just explaining to you here. That is what we are calling about duration. Now, the condition is, suppose at the start of every year, for the next 5 years, Swapnil receives this 5,000 rupees as interest. I repeat, at the start of every year, Swapnil receives 5,000 rupees as interest, right? So he receives for the first year, next he receives 5k for the second year, 5k for third year, 5k for fourth year, and 5k for the fifth year. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? My condition is I am paying interest at the start of the year. Okay, or in other words, Swapnil is receiving Swapnil is receiving interest at the start of the year. Swapnil is receiving interest at the start of the year. So whenever the year starts, financial year starts, he gets 5,000 rupees as interest. Second financial year starts, 5,000 rupees as interest. Third, same. Fourth, same. And fifth also, he is receiving the same thing. Clear? Are you able to understand this logic now? Now, what is duration? Duration says that we agree that the life of the bond is 5 years. We know that the life of the bond is 5 years. But here you are receiving the interest, here you are receiving the interest at the start of the first year, right? Here you are receiving the interest at the start of the fifth year. First year interest you receive, second year interest but fifth year interest you are receiving at the start of the year itself. Do you agree with me? Now please respond. Do you agree with me? My question is, interest is being paid at the start of the year. So which means in the fifth year, Swapnil is going to receive the interest at the starting of the fifth year itself, right? At the starting of the fifth year only, Swapnil is going to receive 5,000 rupees. Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? What does it mean? It means that when you receive at the start of the year itself, suppose you receive in the first month of that particular financial year, your 11 months money is lying idle. Do you agree with me, Swapnil? You have altogether in a financial year, you have 12 months, right? In that, in the first year of the fifth year, in the first month of the fifth year itself, in April, okay, in April, that is the start of the financial year, you receive 5,000 rupees as interest. You receive 5,000 rupees as interest at the start of in the month of April itself. So after this month, there is nothing, you're not going to receive anything. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't make sense for you, Swapnil, to keep your money for the next 11 months lying idle in this particular bond. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Whatever you are going to earn at the end of the 5 years, whatever you are going to earn at the end of the 5 years, you are earning the same in 4 years. Okay, 4 years and 13 months. I don't say 12 months. 4 year, 13 months you are earning that particular amount. Then what is the point in keeping your money for 5 years? Because even if you keep your money here, you're not going to receive any money, you're not going to receive any extra interest. So it doesn't make sense for you to keep your money in this particular investment avenue, right? And to know how much time should we keep our money in a particular bond, that particular calculation we call it as duration, or we call it as Macauley's duration. Are you able to understand the logic here now? Honestly tell me, how many of you have understood, how many of you have not understood this? Yeah, all of you, please come in your video, in the video mode, please. Please come in the video mode. Yeah, are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? Because this calculation is very important from your academic point of view and also from your exam point of view, because you're sure to receive one full-fledged problem on duration itself. Honestly tell me, have you understood what do you mean by duration? Have you understood what is duration? Duration is nothing but time. How much time should I hold the bond? If you ask me this question, okay, I will do the calculation of duration and tell you that I know you have a bond. Okay, I know you have, let us take same example. Suppose you have invested 50,000 rupees. Okay, face value of the bond is 1,000 rupees. Okay, coupon rate is 10%. Time is 5 years. Okay, condition is interest paid at start of the year. At start of the financial year. Right? Now, what is the financial year? For simplicity's sake, I will just take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, financial year is from April to March. So this is common for everyone. April to March is the financial year, right? What does it say? Suppose in the 0th year, if you have invested your money of 50,000 in that particular bond, at the start of the first year, that means in April itself, you will get 5,000 rupees as interest. Next, interest will come here directly 5,000 rupees. So if you do this, you are in the fifth year, when the fifth financial year starts, in April only you are going to receive this 5,000 rupees. Now, when you receive this 5,000 rupees in April itself, it doesn't make sense for you to keep this money idle in that particular bond for next 11 months. It doesn't make sense because you're not going to get anything extra now. Are you able to understand? You're not going to get anything extra now. So if you're not going to get anything extra, why do you want to keep your money idle for 11 months? Invest this money somewhere else, right? Now, I did this particular hypothetical calculations and I told you that you have to invest your money only in this particular bond, sorry, to invest this particular money only for 4 years and 13 months. You don't have to invest it for full 5 years. You have to invest your money only in for 4 years and 13 months. So if you invest only for 4 years and 13 months, whatever you are going to earn in 5 years, whatever you are going to earn in 5 years, the same amount you will earn in 4 years and 13 months, which means you have 11 months of time remaining. Are you able to understand? You have 11 months of time remaining with you. You can use this money to invest this money somewhere else. Or if you want to make use of this particular money, the money would be available to you at 4 years 13 months. Whatever you are supposed to get at the end of 5 years, the same money you will get at the end of 4 years 13 months. This calculation is called duration. This calculation is called duration. Any doubts in understanding now? Suppose you do this particular duration calculation and your answer comes 4.8. Suppose your answer comes 4.8. What does it say? Whatever you could earn by investing your money in 5 years, the same amount you will earn only if you invest for 4 years and 8 months. So it doesn't make sense for you to keep your money for full 5 years. Whatever you are going to earn at the end of 5 years, the same money you are going to earn in 4 years 8 months. So keep the bond with you only for 4 years 8 months. After that, dispose of that bond, get back your money. That is, those calculations, or that particular calculation, we call it as duration. Any doubts in understanding this?
No, sir.
Sure, all of you? Are you able to get this now?
So,
Yes, Rohit.
so, so is it 4 years, 13 months, or 3 years, 13 months? Because 4 years, 13 months is beyond 5 years.
No, 4 years 13 months is at 5. See, it is not 5 years is not complete. When will 5 years get complete? Only after 12 years, right? Or only after 12 months. The fifth year, whatever
Yes,
is
sir.
there, it will get complete when? It will get complete in March, right? Here your year is starting from April to March, right? So fifth year completion means you will get this money. Fifth year will be completed only after March. But here, whatever your money you are getting in April itself. So full 4 years
Yes,
is
sir.
complete, and the first month of fifth year is complete. First month of fifth year is complete. That's the reason I have written 4 years and 13 months.
Yes, sir.
Getting it? Yeah. Anything else? No doubts? Please tell me if you have any doubts. If not, please tell me that there are no doubts so that I'll proceed. Yeah, any doubts, please? Okay. Now let us try to understand what do you mean by duration. Okay. 4 years plus 1. Okay, 4 years plus 1, 4.1 years. So 4.1 years, it says 4 years 1 month. It is not 4 years 1 month. It is 4 years 13 months. 4 year, when will 4 years get complete? After March, right? And then you start with the next month. Okay. Now let us come to the main discussion part. What do you mean by duration? What do you mean by modified duration? Modified duration, we'll see it later. But right now, let us see what is duration. So, as I said, duration is a measure of time. This is very clearly mentioned here. Duration is a measure of time. Okay. So measures the time structure of the bond and the bond interest rates. So it tells you how many years you should keep the bond with you and when is that you are expected to get the interest rates. So if you know these two things, you'll be able to tell the time structure of the bond. That is the first point. Second, duration helps to calculate the average time the bond is supposed to be held. That is what I told you. It will tell you on an average how much time you should hold the bond till maturity. Okay. Because even if you hold the bond even after receiving the last interest, then it doesn't make sense because you are not going to receive any further amount from this. And most important thing, bonds are always redeemed on their face value. That means they are always given back to you at the face value. Clear? So whether you want the same money after 5 years or whether you want the same money before 5 years is the question that you have to answer. Okay. So this concept of duration was invented by a person called as Macaulay, and that therefore it's called as Macaulay duration. Okay. And this is the formula to calculate Macaulay duration. It's a very simple formula. Okay. It's very easy to remember provided you do it in a statistical table. Okay, we have to draw a table and in that particular table we have to compute some values. Okay, and based on that, based on these values, your last answer that you're going to get, the last answer that you're going to get, that is sorry, last answer that is going to get, that is your duration value. Okay, so what does PV stand for, what does CT stand for are all mentioned here. PV CT stands for present value of cash flows, that is this part, present value of cash flows. PO is stands for the sum of present values, okay, which is nothing but it will come here. This will be your PO value, okay, and T is common. T is nothing but the normal duration, the normal time that is given to us. So using this particular formula, we have to calculate what do you mean by duration. And if you want a much more accurate calculation, then we have to go for modified duration. Clear? So what I want you to do right now, I want you to copy this particular formula or note down this particular formula, because in the next class we have to discuss problems on bond duration. So just make a note of this particular formula along with the notations for this particular formula. Keep it ready. In the next class, we will discuss it. Okay, just note down the formula before I proceed to the next slide. Done? Now, this is again a 3 marks question, properties of duration. Okay. So I'll just tell you what are these durations, properties of duration. First is duration of a zero coupon bond is always equal to maturity. That means wherever coupon rate is zero or wherever the coupon rate is not given, we have to assume that coupon rate is zero. And whenever coupon rate is zero, whatever is the maturity time that is given to the bond, the same will be the duration. So that calculation is given to you very straightforward. Okay. Next, this is very important. For a given maturity, a bond duration is higher when interest rates are lower. So, okay, duration and coupon rate. I repeat, duration and coupon rate are inversely proportional. Duration and coupon rate are inversely proportional. Lesser the coupon rate, higher will be the duration. Okay, higher the coupon rate, lesser will be the duration. This is the concept that you have to understand. So these 2 points are mentioned in these two particular points. So uh, duration is inversely proportional to coupon rate, which means if coupon rate rises or if the rate of interest increases, the duration decreases, and if the duration has to increase, then okay, coupon rates have to go down. Clear? Last is duration is inversely proportional to YTM. So this is another important logic that you have to understand. Duration is inversely proportional. Duration is inversely proportional to yield to maturity. Clear? So what is important for you to understand? This concept is important for you to understand. This concept is important for you to understand. Next concept that you have to understand is duration is inversely proportional to coupon rate. Okay, this is another concept that you have to understand. And now the formula for modified duration is very simple. Whatever duration that you calculate from the previous slide, straight away divide that duration with 1 plus YTM. YTM is nothing but your yield to maturity. Clear? So when you add 1 to yield to maturity, that is YTM, you get your modified duration. Now, whether whatever we are studying, is it of any use? Yes, it is definitely of use, especially for bond holders or in the wholesale debt market. These concepts are very aggressively used because it tells the investor for how long the bond should be kept with him. The moment they earn everything on that particular bond, they don't keep the bond with them, they dispose of the bond to recover their profits. So that is a very important calculation as far as bond markets are concerned. Clear? So the formula for modified duration is duration divided by 1 plus YTM. Now, I won't go into the convexity of this and other things. What we will do is we'll just try to solve a couple of problems here on duration. Okay, so I will just you want me to dictate the problem, or how do you want it? How do you want the problem to be solved?
So we'll take screenshot of it.
We'll take the screenshot. Okay, I'll just give you a simple problem. Okay, let us see how we can go about it. Just give me a second. Okay, just take down these values. Just take down these values and I'll solve it here itself. It's quite easy to understand. Okay, I'll just give a very simple one. Now don't expect these problems to come in the exams. These are problems only for you, for your understanding purpose. Okay, suppose there is bond A. Okay, bond A, uh, face value is equal to 1000 rupees. Uh, Time to maturity is 4 years. Time to maturity is 4 years. Okay. ROI, that is coupon rate, is let us say 7%. Coupon rate is 7%. The slide is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have a bond. Face value of the bond is 1000 rupees. Duration time is 4 years. Rate of interest is 7%. Okay. There I have asked you to calculate duration. Okay. And here I will say ROR, required rate of return, is 6%. Required rate of return is 6%. Now just observe what I'm doing. It's very simple. Doesn't take much time, provided you have your PV tables with you. It doesn't take much time to solve this particular problem. Okay. Now, first thing is, when such a problem is given, basic part that you have to understand is you have to prepare a table. just prepare a simple table. Okay, here I will write years. Okay, next here I will write CT, that is my cash flows. I'll just write cash flow so that things are easily understood by you. I will name this column as CT. Next, this is my present value column. Okay, at 6% because 6% is my required rate of return. Okay, this is present value of cash flows. Present value of cash flows. Next, this is present value of cash flows divided by P naught. And last is present value of cash flows, okay, divided by P naught, divided by P naught, the whole into time. That is a formula that is given to us. Okay, I have dissected the formula in multiple ways for your understanding. Where is it gone? Where did it go? Yeah. So this is a formula that we have. Okay, now we have to solve this particular problem. Okay, uh, I'm running out of time now, but the same problem I will solve it in the next class. Okay, as of now, just take down this data, just take down this data, prepare a column in this particular way. Okay, and I will tell you how to solve it. Is it clear? I'll just show you one demo if you want. I'll take the first year. What is 7% of 1,000 rupees cash flow? Every year, how much rate of interest you are going to receive? It is going to be 7% of 1,000 rupees. How much is it? It works to 70 rupees.
70.
Clear? It works to 70 rupees. Are you able to understand? So my cash flow is 70 rupees. Next here, find out the present value of 6%. From where did I get the 6%? 6% I got it from because 6% is my required rate of return. Okay. So write down the present value here for all. Multiply this. Okay. Just multiply this and keep it ready. In my next class, that is tomorrow, I will explain to you how do we calculate duration. And please, before you come for investment management class, please go through the slides once again, because if you come and sit blank, it is very difficult for me to explain once again. Okay, this problem I will solve it tomorrow again, because I require around 10-15 minutes time to solve this particular problem itself. Once you are able to solve this problem, then things will be easier for you. Clear? So I'll stop the class here. I'll just take the attendance. I request everyone to come on video mode, please. Just a minute.